नमस्ते बिटिया, I am JVN Dr. Suman Shekhawat, Department of Kai Chikitsa, Faculty of Ayurvedic Sciences, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today we will discuss on the topic of respiratory system examination. First of all, before starting how to examine the respiratory system, we should know how to take the history that related to the respiratory system. First of all, we should see that all these kind of symptoms present in the patient or not. We should ask with the patient, like cough, expectoration, hemoptysis, breathlessness, wheeze, chest pain, and history of tuberculosis. If present, you should ask with the patient that evening rise of temperature, night sweat, anorexia, weight loss, hemoptysis, pleurisy, meningitis, lymphadenitis in past or in family, TB contact. We should ask with the patient the habit of the patient, that he or she is taking alcohol, smoking, tobacco or gutka chewing. Aspiration, foreign bodies, vomiters, for industrial disease, occupation, residence near factories or mills, allergy, family history of asthma, hay fever, eczema, rhinitis and sinusitis. We should ask with the patient of past history of measles, influenza, whooping cough in childhood, diabetes, and exposure to TB, STD and HIVs. We should see and we should ask with the patient of mediastinal compression, dysphagia, hoarse voice, dyspnea or dry cough, swelling over face. We should do the general examination of the patient, like we should see build and nutrition of the patient, nails and conjunctiva, pallor, clubbing, cyanosis, icterus, lymphadenopathies, especially skinly nodes and cervical nodes, edema of feet, JVP, and we should see temperature, pulse, respiratory rate and blood pressure of the patient. We should see neck, thyroid swelling and tracheal tug. Horner syndrome like ptosis, meiosis, anhidrosis, anophthalmos absent, ciliospinal reflexes. Upper respiratory tract, sinus tenderness, throat and nails, posterior pharyngeal wall for posterior nasal drip, and gums and teeth of the patient. Respiratory system examination, we should see inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation of the patient. Inspection, we should see in the patient chest shape of chest, respiratory movement, mediastinum and miscellaneous. Shape of chest, we should see anterior and posterior and transverse diameter, barrel shaped chest, etc. Following bulging, flattening and retraction of the chest, it present or not, subcostal angle, shoulder, spine, spino-scapular distance on both sides of the both side of chest, right or left sided, or both side of lungs. Respiratory movement, respiratory rate, rhythm, character, abdominal, thoracic, thoraco-abdomen, abdomino-thoracic. We should see in the patient that character of respiratory movement, equality, accessory muscle or respiration, intercostal retraction, fullness. Mediastinum, trail sign, apex impulse, miscellaneous, sinus, scars on chest, palpation, dilated veins and shiny skin over lower chest. Emphysema, it can be in emphysema or fetor hepatica. Palpation, finding of inspection confirmed including chest movement. Mediastinum, trachea, apex beat, and tactile vocal phreatis TVF. Miscellaneous, tenderness over lower intercostal space, other vibration, palpable rails, rhonchi, and rub. We should see, if we are doing that percussion, then we should see anteriorly right side and left side. Right side in clavicular percussion, intercostal resonance, lever dullness, tidal percussion, shifting dullness, and percussion myoconia. Or in left side we should see clavicular percussion, intercostal resonance, cardiac dullness, Traub's area, shifting dullness, percussion myoconia. Anteriorly suprascapular, interscapular, infrascapular, in axilla, axillary and infraaxillary. Auscultation, breath sound normal or diminished. Type of breath sound, vesicular, bronchial, and vesicular with prolonged expiration. Foreign sound, rails, rhonchi or rub. Vocal resonance, miscellaneous, bronchophony, egophony, coin test, etc. If we want to do the assessment of or the diagnosis of the disease of patient that related with which system, then first of all, for the diagnosis of the disease we should take the history of the patient. After that we should do general examination of the patient, or on the basis of both these things we should do related systemic examination for the patient. These all things are very confirmatory for the diagnosis of the disease. And after that, if we are not able to identify the or to diagnose the disease, then we should go for the investigation that is also related to the specific system. And on the basis of the investigation we can diagnose the problem of the patient.
नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो. आई एम JVN डॉक्टर सुमन शेखावत, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ काय चिकित्सा, ज्योति विद्यापीठ विमेंस यूनिवर्सिटी जयपुर. टुडे वी विल डिस्कस ऑन examination of respiratory system. Manual Part 1. Disease of the respiratory system account for up to a third of death. In most countries and for a major proportion of visits to the doctor and time away from work or school. As every aspect of diagnosis in medicine, the key source is a clear and careful recorded history. Symptoms may be trivial or extremely distressing, but either may indicate serious and life-threatening disease. The history: most patients with respiratory disease will present with breathlessness, cough, excess sputum, hemoptysis, wheeze or chest pain. Breathlessness: everyone become breathlessness or strenuous exertion. Breathlessness inappropriate to the level of physical exertion or even occurring at rest is called dyspnea. Its mechanisms are complex and not fully understood. It is not due simply to a lowered blood oxygen tension, hypoxia, or to a raised blood carbon dioxide tension, hypercapnia, although these may play a significant part. Causes of breathlessness: acute, subacute, and chronic causes are here. Acute causes are airways obstruction, pneumonia, COPD, anaphylaxis, asthma, pneumothorax, pulmonary embolus, myocardial infarction, pulmonary edema, arrhythmias, and anxiety. Subacute causes are pneumonia, exacerbation of COPD, angina, cardiac tamponade, metabolic acidosis, pain, pontine hemorrhage. Chronic causes are here: COPD, pleural effusion, malignancy, chronic pulmonary emboli, restrictive lung disorder including interstitial lung disease, congestive cardiac failure, valvular dysfunction, and cardiomyopathy, diastolic dysfunction, pulmonary hypertension, anemia, and neuromuscular disorders. An important assessment is whether the dyspnea is related only to exertion and how far the patient can walk at a normal pace on the level exercise tolerance. This may take some skill to elicit, as few people note their symptom in this form, but a brief discussion about they can do in their daily lives usually gives a good estimate for their mobility. Medical research counseling grading for dyspnea breathlessness scale are: 1 is grade 1, not troubled by breathlessness except in strenuous exercise. Second is grade 2 is short of breath when hurrying or walking up a silent hills. Grade 3 is walk slower the contemporaries on the level because of breathlessness or has to stop for breath when walking at on pace. Grade 4 is stop for breath after 400 meter or after a few minutes on the level. Grade 5 to breathlessness to leave the house or breathlessness when dressing or undressing. Other clarification will include whether there is variability in the symptoms, whether there are good days and bad days, and very importantly, whether there are any time of day or night that are usually worse than others. Variable airways obstruction due to asthma is very often worse at night and in the early morning. By contrast, people with predominantly reversible airways obstruction due to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease will often say that as long as they are sitting in bed, they feel quite normal. It is exercise that troubles them. Next, respiratory complaint is cough. The symptoms of cough can be short-lived or last years. Cough can be defined as acute, lasting less than 3 weeks, or chronic, lasting more than 8 weeks. Causes of cough: respiratory causes are viral or bacterial infection, bronchospasm, COPD, non-asthmatic eosinophilic asthma, bronchiolitis, malignancy, parenchymal disease. Example: bronchiectasis, cystic fibrosis, ILD, sarcoidosis, pleural disease, and aspiration. Upper airways disease is postnasal drip, sinusitis, inhaled foreign body, tonsillar enlargement. Cardiovascular disease are LVF, mitral stenosis, gastroesophageal disease GERD, and neurological disease like aspiration and drug irritant ACE inhibitor, cigarette smoking. A cough may be dry or it may be productive with sputum. Acute cough is most commonly caused by recent infection, either viral or bacterial. However, any cough that is associated with hemoptysis should be a cause for concern. Prompt appropriate assessment and a baseline chest X-ray, CXR at the very least. Any patient with a chronic cough, that is one that lasts more than 8 weeks, should be sent for a CXR and spirometry as baseline investigation. 5 most common causes of chronic cough with a normal CXR is post-viral upper respiratory tract infection, smoking, asthma including cough and variant asthma and non-asthmatic eosinophilic asthma, post-nasal drip, hay fever and gastroesophageal reflux disease. Discussion about cough should include how long has the cough been present. A cough lasting a few days following a cold has less significance than one lasting several weeks in a middle-aged smoker, which may be last sign of malignancy. In the cough worse at any time of day or night? Is the cough worse at any time of day or night? A dry cough at night may be an early symptoms of asthma, as may a cough that comes in spasm lasting several minutes. Is the cough aggravated by anything, for example allergic triggers such as dust, animal or pollens, or non-specific triggers such as exercise or cold air? The increased reactivity of the airways seen in asthma and in some normal people for several weeks after viral respiratory infection may present in this way. Severe coughing, whatever it causes, may be followed by vomiting. Important question in the history of chronic cough. Have you had a recent cold, sore throat and viral infection? Do you have a history of asthma, nocturnal cough or wheezing? Do you experience nasal discharge or sinusitis? Do you suffer from acid reflux, indigestion or coughing after meal? What time of day is the cough worse? Do you smoke? Are you breathless? Have you cough up blood? Do you have a hoarse voice? Do you had fever or night sweat? Do you lost weight? Are you getting chest pain? Next is sputum. Is sputum produced? What does it look like? Children and some adults swallow sputum, but it is always worth asking for a description for its color and consistency. Yellow or green sputum is usually purulent. People with asthma may produce small amount of very thick or jelly-like sputum, sometime in the shape of a cast of the airways. Eosinophils may accumulate in the sputum in asthma, causing a purulent appearance even when no infection is present. How much is produced? When severe lung damage in infancy and childhood was common, bronchiectasis was often found in adults. The amount of sputum produced daily often exceeding a cupful. Bronchiectasis is now rare, and chronic bronchitis causes the production of smaller amount of sputum, which is not a cause of acute dyspnea. And which disease produce copious cough? These are the questions related to this topic. Thank you. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. I hope you all are satisfied with this session. If you feel any kind of problem with this session, please mention it in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you.